yes, that may have been the smoothest transition I've ever done. Ryan. I know I've been saying that lately, but this time I actually like transitioned with a fade out as the music faded out and our screens faded in.
Wow,
Yeah, and I unmuted
that's
everything. It was like,
even better.
yeah, I only had to work in radio like 4 years.
Who are you, and what have you done with the real Danny?
I know,
Like,
I know. It's pretty crazy. Hello and welcome to Nexus Drafthouse, episode 57. I am Sahara Drac of StormLegacy.com, and with me, as always, is Ryan, Lord of Ascension Tower. Sup, dog?
hey man, how you doing?
Good. I'm good. I'm
Great.
excited because in a month we're gonna go see Heroes of the Dorm finals.
Yeah, that'll be great. I mean, it sucks that my bracket is destroyed, but it's
Yeah,
certainly gonna be fun to check
yeah,
it out.
yeah. I mean, here's the thing: like, you don't know anything about any of these teams unless, like, I think very few people do. And so,
Hmm.
like, you these colleges that have very nondescript, like, kind of like very mundane names, like it's all University of North Texas, and you're like, I don't know, I guess they lose. And then, like, turns out they're actually really good, but how are you supposed to know that, you know?
It'll be really interesting to see kind of the breakdown of who picked just based on the seeding too, because I think that has a lot to do with it.
Yeah, absolutely. There is a solid chance that the Final Four will be seed 1, 2, 3, 4. All those teams are still in, so that would be cool, actually. Texas #1 according to Fairtunes. I'm a Texas college graduate. Maybe I should have given them a little more credit.
Yeah,
Uh,
because that would have been just as good of a way to pitch as anything else, I guess.
I guess, yeah. I mean, it really would have. But yeah, so we are not talking about Here's the Dorm Drafts today. We are talking about good old HGC. We had some good matchups last week. We're going to be taking a look at a match between Team Freedom and Team 12 and LFM Esports and Heroes Hearth. Heroes Hearth? Hearth? I think it's a colloquialism based on your region of the country. But down here in the desert, we say Hearth. So
Get your soda off my lawn.
I'll have a pop, please.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. So lately, we have seen some. Actually, the drafting in HGC has gotten pretty interesting in my view. Lately, we've seen a lot of very
Unique.
niche, unique picks per team, and also really exploiting some of the weaknesses and strengths of a map. So obviously that's what you want to do in every draft, but it seems to be a little more highlighted these recent weeks of HGC. Some things are consistent is that we still see a lot of Maiev being banned. However, this upcoming weekend will be the first available Phoenix HGC weekend. So
After post nerfs though, so it'll be even more interesting to see where he falls out in the pro scene.
yeah, I exactly. I was watching. What was I watching? Some Heroes of the Dorm earlier, and they were playing Phoenix, and he
Hmm.
was definitely doing well. It's not just a Hero League stomper for sure, or a quick match stomper. Yeah. So we can get started on this Team Freedom versus Team 12. It is on Tomb of the Spider Queen, and Team Freedom with the first pick, first ban. The Greymane is the first ban. I find that already kind of a question mark, but this is game 2. Oh no, it's game 1. Greymane, obviously, this is one of his better maps, and they do pick up a Hanzo, and Team 12 bans out Genji. So I typed Genjio. There we go, Genji. Um, so the Greymane first ban is really odd to me, and I'll tell you why. It's because of things like Maiev, and Malfurion and Tracer, things that are staples for these HGC teams. Greymane has kind of settled into like the upper middle class of priority in the
Hmm.
HGC. To ban him so quickly, right out the gate, the very first thing you do is ban Greymane, tends to tell me that they don't want to get dove on, right? Like they have a reason, and
Yeah,
the Hanzo pick is indicative of that. Um,
no, I agree. I think that's certainly a huge element. I think, um, while maybe not his best map, this is a fairly decent map for
it's pretty
Greymane.
good. It's one of his
So
best, yeah.
yeah, I think that certainly contributes, and you have to wonder, as we often do, if there was some sort of targeting going on here.
Could have been, yeah. I don't have the stats in front of me between Team 12. They do have Cure. I mean, Cure plays their carry usually,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm sure he's a very good Greymane, but I don't think he's exactly known for Greymane.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, going over to the side of Team 12, we do have that Tracer pickup, which to me, after all I've seen in the HGC, I would rather deal with a Greymane than a Tracer any day of the week. But I guess they feel differently. So, Tracer and Tyrael. So, already you're seeing exactly what Hanzo doesn't like to see, and that's dive.
Mm-hmm.
Tracer has a tank that can dive with her, which is pretty rare, and support her as well during that. Now, one thing that I do find shocking about this round, however, is that they didn't go Tracer Mouth.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that was it makes you wonder how they weighted that out, right? I mean, I think
Yeah.
based on what we've seen the last few weeks, Malf is certainly the combo pit here with Tracer, but I mean, Tyrael does a lot of other things well.
hmm Yeah, yeah.
So
I mean, Tyrael's great, but I'm willing to say that the Tracer Malfurion combo is like a two-person combo that might be like actually like broken, like it actually is like too good. Um,
yeah,
which is
it'd be fascinating to know why they chose Tyrael,
which is
right?
hard for a balanced team, I'm sure, because it's like, well, how do we nerf just this duo?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of community stuff this week in Heroes of the Storm. I know you've been working. I don't know if you saw much of it, but the community exploded. The Blizzard had to like make a blog and like an AMA just to like placate the pitchforks. Yeah,
Was this about matchmaking?
about matchmaking mostly. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Anything new or the same?
Yeah, they did a blog
Same
today.
things?
They did a blog today and put a bunch of stuff that they're doing. Let me find it for you real quick because it is interesting and we could talk about it in the middle of this.
But anything new as far as the community complaint, or just that it's
As far as
still
the
broken?
complaints is, no, just basically the main complaint was that it's broken and it didn't feel like to Reddit because Reddit that
Ah,
Blizzard was communicating with them. That they were just being
got it.
ignored. So they are increasing queue time to make better matches for high ranked players. So
Okay.
like masters and grandmasters will have to wait a long time, but they will theoretically get better matches.
Mm-hmm.
They are adding MMR and rank decay, which is
Wow.
which is
Yeah,
really
that's been a long time coming, really.
really good. They're bringing back performance base, which they've already said, but they said it's pretty good now. And then placement matches, the highest you can place if you're a new player is Platinum 5.
Okay.
So you can't seed into Diamond, which is really good, or Master or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And also, depending on how many games you played in the previous season, you can get down to one placement match. You only need one.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, which I think is good because, like, it doesn't. The 10 placement matches don't move you that much. It's just like a waste of time.
Well, the uncertainty was pretty high on some of those, though, right?
Yeah, I think they're
So
keeping
it
it.
could they are, but just on the one.
I think even with the one, yeah, I think
So
so.
is that one you could drop down 3 or 4
No,
from where you ended the
I don't.
prior?
I think essentially, if you played like 50 plus games of Hero League in the previous season, you're pretty much going to be placed where you were, and
Got
like
it.
you can't change it without climbing.
Okay.
Yeah. And then they're doing. They're adding a third ban. A lot of stuff on Twitter today about people because they said they're putting the ban in the middle, which this is where the Nexus Drafthouse angle comes in. I do not think the third ban should be in the middle.
So it's in the middle of what?
Well, they didn't say specifically. They just said in the mid phase of the draft.
Mm.
Yeah.
So could it be with the current second ban then?
It could be, and I think it will be. Well, that's what they're saying. There was a lot of feedback today from pro players, so I think we'll end up with it changed. Dreadnought posted a good format, as did Justing, which I liked, but most players want 2 bans right out the gate.
Yeah, I think that would have been my initial thought.
Me too. Which I don't hate. I sort of think it might be better to maybe try it in the middle. I don't know. It's tough to say because you want to make sure for the second ban phase both teams have 3 picks before the final ban, at least. Even if the final ban's 2 bans, you don't want so the way it is now, like one team has 3 and one team has 2. With the availability of 3 bans, you can make it so the teams have the same number of heroes before the double ban. If you set it up right.
Hmm.
Yeah, so like 1-2-1, right?
Right.
Yeah, like one pick, two pick, uh, one ban, one ban, two picks, and then double ban, and then both teams would have three. But anyways, that is a bunch of stuff they're changing. It was a pretty big deal, a lot of stuff going on. But
Sounds like it.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty involved. So yeah, they went with the Tyrael over the Malfurion. I don't like it, but that's what they did. And going back over to Team Freedom, this is where the draft gets a little kooky. They pick up the Tassadar and the Uther. So
Wow.
already you see this draft and you're like, they're doing something weird. Something weird is happening for sure.
Clearly.
Yeah. If I didn't know what they were drafting, I would not be able to guess at all. However, one thing I have seen from Tomb of the Spider Queen games in the last 2 weeks is this Hanzo Tassadar. It's super vision. You get constant, non-stop vision of both turn-in points all the time with Sonic Arrow and Oracle. And that is why they picked it, and that is why teams pick this on Tomb. It's so crazy difficult for teams to turn in against this. Not just the vision, but the ability to do something with that vision and be like, you can, like, scatter arrow, no problem.
Right.
You know?
Right. Even Psystorm. I mean, really.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Psystorm is a big deal. The Uther is interesting. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Is this just to keep Hanzo alive from the dive?
Yeah. I mean, but you could just play him in Div, right? If you want to do that. Like if
That's
you want to
also
stop,
true.
if you want to stop Pulse Bomb, just you can
Well,
just play.
it'll also, I mean, gives them a stun as well.
It does. That's
Wow.
great. And Uther is very good against Tracer. He is. He negates 25% of her ult. He stuns her twice if he goes that ult, but once probably. He's good. So
Yeah.
it may just be an anti-Tracer pick, and if they said that's what it was, it wouldn't surprise me a bit.
Hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So going over to Team 12, they're going much more traditional Tomb of the Spider Queen. They do pick up the Blaze for the solo lane. How come when I typed BL Diablo came up? Anyways, Rhaegar. So they go with the Rhaegar here, which is interesting. Did we miss something with Malfurion? Like, is Malfurion no longer cool? Like, what happened?
Yeah. This is
Oh,
also strange.
I
Yeah.
missed the second bands. Oh, okay, that explains a lot. I was
Oh
like,
yeah. You just jumped right ahead.
I
Didn't
did.
you?
So
Yeah.
my bad. Team 12 bans Johanna.
So much for that sweet intro.
I know, right? So Team 12 bans Johanna, and Team Freedom bans Malfurion. That's why I was like, why aren't they playing Malfurion?
This makes a lot more sense now.
Makes a lot more sense. Okay, so the Johanna ban obviously makes sense. Best wave clear tank. Team Freedom doesn't have a tank.
More stun.
More stun for Tracer. The inability to die unless she really makes a mistake.
Right.
So good ban by them. And
it
then
becomes controlling the battlefield again with the Hanzo.
yeah.
So.
And the Malfurion ban, of course, they have double support already, and they have a Tracer, so that's like a no-brainer, and it makes me feel a lot better. I'm glad I noticed that finally. I didn't do the bans. Okay, so they pick up the Blaze and the Rhaegar. The Rhaegar is, wouldn't you still want a Stukov?
That's what I mean. I would have picked the Stukov maybe instead of the Uther too. I mean, I think there's good reasons to pick Uther,
Yeah.
but yeah, I would have gone with the Stukov over the Rhaegar.
For Team 12, I would definitely do the Stukov because the Stukov heal is essentially like a Malfurion heal, right?
Right. Yeah.
I mean,
And
it's
you end up.
way longer cooldown, but
Yeah. Yep. You did a little bit of that burst. Plus, you have an opportunity to silence. You did a little more control of the battlefield.
yeah. I mean, the Stukov heal to me might be better than Malfurion on Tracer in some situations against the right comps because you also have the silence,
Mm-hmm.
to pair with it. Yeah, so the Rhaegar pickup's interesting to me.
I mean, he's highly mobile, which Stukov is not.
He's
So,
highly mobile. But so far what they're showing is not something you need to be highly mobile against, I mean, it's
Yeah,
Tassadar,
yeah.
Uther, Hanzo, so. Yeah, so
Right,
I think
yeah.
Team 12 kind of misstepped a couple times in this draft already.
I mean, I do see right between Blaze and Radar here that they have some slows. I think they're trying to give Tracer lots of opportunity to do her thing, but I
slows
don't
are-
know that it's worth it. So
Yeah, now
they're nice.
Stukov does not do anything to Tracer. I mean, that might be a thing for why Team Freedom didn't want it. Like
Yeah.
he doesn't CC
No,
her
yeah.
unless he happens to get a really nice
In the
W.
silence.
Yeah.
Or the silence,
Or
but
the
yeah.
silence, yeah. But he can't.
Yeah, he probably actually turns into more of a target, honestly.
Yeah,
But,
yeah. Whereas Uther Tastar can deal with her. So
mm,
I don't mind the Uther pickup, but I do kind of think the Rhaegar pickup's a little odd.
I
Yeah,
agree.
that's
I
just
like the plays though.
yeah.
I
The
mean,
the Blaze is awesome because bunker and solo lane power. Yeah,
hmm
he could just go down on the bottom, never lose that lane. Team fights start breaking out, bust out the bunker. Yeah, but so
right.
far actually they don't have anything you'd want to bunker against, but I'm sure they will. So this is where it comes in, where you probably want to bunker D.Va. It gets picked up here for Team Freedom, as does Stitches. So this comp for Team Freedom is very, very different.
Very strange.
Very different. And let's just round it out real quick so we can talk about the whole thing as a set. So they Team 12 finishes out with the Gul'dan. Very solid, very standard kind of how people normally perceive Tomb of the Spider Queen, right? Like this Team 12 comp is like how you would like your basic Tomb of the Spider Queen comp, right?
Right.
Team Freedom. So imagine playing any of the heroes on Team 12 side and trying to turn in a gym.
Almost impossible.
They will see you all the time. Stitches will hook you. If
Right.
shit goes down on the turn in, you have a D.Va bomb.
That's right. And she's bumping you all over the place.
She's bumping you. And you have the D.Va bomb for if you ever get a turn in, which you probably won't. The Stitches is a very interesting choice, and it makes sense from the aspect is that this is a vision comp, and that's where Stitches shines. So he needs vision, you know. The only thing you could replace this D.Va possibly with a Chromie, have triple vision spells, but I'm sure they've tried that. It's probably like it's overlaps too much. It's not worth it, you know.
Well, the thing that really speaks to me about Freedom's comp though is that Tracer doesn't do much.
No, what's Tracer gonna do against
At all.
nothing?
Yeah.
She can potentially get on Hanzo, but
But you got Tassar shields.
Yeah.
You got the Uther burst heal.
yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of mitigation here.
Another cute thing they did in this game was Stitches would gorge while the bomb was like halfway down, stand next to the bomb and then vomit the hero out onto the bomb.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. But Team Freedom ran all over this game solely because there was a point where Team Freedom they had a second spider turn in. That eventually got burned down by Team 12. Team 12 had it enough to turn in, and Team Freedom was able to get back to 65 gems and turn in again before Team 12 could get their first turn in.
Wow.
Because of the vision, and you will see this a lot. I guarantee. This was not the first time somebody did this. They've been doing this a couple weeks on Tomb, and obviously some teams did not get the memo.
Right.
Because yeah. And
Well, it's pretty cool playing the battleground as opposed to there's just not a lot of damage on Freedom's team, right? I mean, this is about winning with the map instead of despite the map.
Right, winning because of the map, and and no matter what they do to test it around, he always finds a role. He always finds a job.
You mean Sentry?
Yeah, he's a sentry. He is.
He really is. It bothers me. But
He's a sentry that turns into an Archon at least.
yeah, but SI Storm's like a little tickle.
It's not too
Not the way
damaging.
it's supposed to be. So.
Yeah. If I had
I mean,
made,
you're telling me a Dragoon can do more damage than a High Templar? Like, I don't think so.
I think more DPS, but not more burst. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. If I was designing Tassadar, I would have made Psystorm his ult for sure. And I would have made it do something unique, but that's just me.
Or it's like summon the Janther Thor or something. I don't know. Just
Yeah.
a bunch of...
That'd be cool. He constantly kamikazes on the
Well, I
would
would
be the
I
Junkrat
think,
ult.
I think that like Planet Cracker would have been a better Tassadar ult than coming out of a Dragoon.
Right.
Like you could have summoned the Janther Thor with the Planet Cracker
Yeah.
or something. But
Yeah. I mean,
what do I know?
Spear of Adun though would be very similar, you know.
For
Well, just the fact that he summons Spear of Adun and it has a laser, you know.
who has a laser?
Artanis.
Doesn't he just have the pulse bomb?
No, yeah, the Spear of Adun does the
Oh, you're
bait.
right. You're right. Yeah, that's not. Sorry, that's not what I meant. Though I would have meant like a more like the current
Like
Phoenix Planet
the
character.
Phoenix one. Okay,
Yeah,
like an actual model on the screen of the ship shooting.
yeah,
Okay,
something like.
okay,
I mean, that's not very refined. I haven't given it that much
yeah,
thought, but
but yeah, I could see it.
more of like a Hyperion call down than a.
Right, right. Okay,
Yeah.
I see what you mean. Yeah, Tassadar's
Made no sense because it's stale again, but that's okay.
true, true. Well, this is the Nexus where there are
Yeah, that's
portals, and the
that's
man
true.
lives in a castle. So,
Yep.
what's up, Broken Tangent? Yeah, Tassadar's a little weird, but he did find a role once again in this game, um, in the Crazy Vision with
It's
Hanzo.
basically Vision though. I mean that cooldown on Oracle.
Yeah, I mean he
So
did go Archon, so he was doing some damage. Yeah, but very cool.
does a Stenaro doesn't bounce? Does Stenaro bounce off Force Wall?
No, no, you
Yeah.
can't do any of that
So
stuff
so
off
that'd
of.
be why, right? I mean
Yeah.
that would have been the main advantage.
Oh, if it did, you would want Force Wall. Yeah, for sure. Um,
Yeah.
but no, it doesn't. You can't jump over it either with him.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah. Which
I mean, I guess that's fair because it would negate an ult completely with a basic ability, but
yeah, totally. So very cool draft from Team Freedom. They did walk away with this game pretty easily due to the unique drafting style. And over here, we're going to go to another game on the Infernal Shrines. So I was playing my game today on stream in French, and it was very entertaining. Like the French audio.
your stream was in French.
No,
Oh,
I was the audio. I had all the voices and stuff in French because I wanted to hear the heroes, and it was hilarious.
well,
Garrosh is like, "Look ta Hoga," and you're all, "Whoa, cool." And Brightwing is terrifying in French. Oh my god.
really?
Oh yeah,
That's funny.
yeah. So it's a good
That
time.
is funny.
Look ta Hoga. All right, LFM Esports Sports versus Heroes Hearth. And Infernal Shrines. So, Heroes Hearth really likes to play Diablo Hanzo, especially on this map, because of Dragon Arrow stunning everyone, which then immediately puts a apocalypse under them.
Mm-hmm. Very nice.
When are we going to see Murky drafted, Ask Fairtunes? The time you will see Murky drafted is the first BlizzCon championship in the final game. And they won with it, so, you know.
Or when they rework him.
Yeah, or when they rework them. But you can, if you want to see Murky win BlizzCon, you can see that. Anyways. LFM Esports, with the first pick, first ban, they do ban out the Hanzo because they already know what Heroes Hearth likes to do. So they did their homework at least a little. The first ban on the side of Heroes Hearth is Blaze.
A good choice.
Never against that on this map, or in general, really. Although that does leave them things like Maiev open. But first pick for LFM is Genji.
Yeah, Maya has been a little
She's fallen off.
absent here.
She's fallen off. Yeah. I still think she's pretty good. I don't know. I'm not a pro player, but I still think that the Umbral Bind is really, really a big deal. You know.
Yeah, well, that's true. But it's in all 5 of these games between LFM and Heroes Hearth, she was not in the game at all.
They just decided they're done with her, huh?
Yeah, I'm not sure if she was banned or not, but she certainly wasn't played.
Right.
So
Right. Just
it seems like there's a lot of opportunity. But
I guess they just feel she's not strong enough anymore. But yeah, they might be right too. I don't know. So the Genji first pick. That's not something you see a whole lot anymore. There was like a couple weeks where you saw the Shimada first ban, first pick meta. Now they're still really good, but Hanzo has kind of moved up, and Genji is more of a middle ground pick. But here we see the first pick Genji, and that is probably due to Heroes Hearth. They do have what's his name? Crowan. Crowan plays Genji a lot. He mostly plays Greymane and Genji. So so that might be a target pick there.
could be, yep.
Over on the side of Heroes Earth, they do pick up the Malthael first pick. Now you don't see that very often.
You really don't.
Yeah.
I'm a little surprised here.
And they go Bad Angel and Good Angel. Like they're like a a meme made by a 13-year-old. I could be your angel or your devil. Yeah.
AKA Danny.
AKA me. Yeah. Shut up. Um,
Mom.
Mom, you don't know about my dark side. Um,
Okay.
yeah.
Yep.
So Malthael first pick. um, why? I guess is what I'm asking.
I'm not sure here. I'm coming up a little blank.
I am too. So it must mean there's something later in the draft. I mean, he's an incredibly strong solo laner now. He's not as good in a team fight, but he's really got strong wave clear, and he can jungle like really well now. So those are kind of how he is now versus the old Malthael. Also, Last Rites is like woof. That's a
But we come back to first pick.
spicy garbanzo. Yeah, like it's not first. No, we don't see first pick Malthael very often or ever.
And I don't even really see the synergy with Tyrael here. I mean, I don't see a plan yet.
No, I don't see a plan either.
I don't think it's just the witty banter at the beginning of the game. So
no, probably not.
I
Yeah,
just will have to see as we progress here.
yeah,
Something.
he does have nice control over the objective. But I don't know. First pick, you could pick so many things. You know, like
Yeah.
you could pick a really good tank. You could.
I mean, you could have had Tracer Test there.
You could play
or not
Tracer Mouth.
Tracer Mouth. That's what I mean.
Just
Yeah.
play Tracer Mouth. Like that's
Yeah.
what like teams win games with Tracer Mouth. But Tyrael Malthael. Yeah. So yeah, okay, we'll go back over. LFM picks up the Alex Straza. You don't see that, and an ETC. So we are looking at Game 5 of this series, by the way. So if you look, I'm going to look back at their previous drafts because I'm a little confused. Malthael did not get looked at in the previous 4 games. The Alex Straza was not picked in the previous 4 games.
Not at all.
Like the previous 4 games that they had a Brightwing in Game 4 and they won with it. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Brightwing Rhaegar double support.
Oh, double support. Yeah.
Double support, double warrior. Huh. I guess I should have picked that draft. But yeah. No Alex, no Malthael. This is like both teams are like pulling out their weird trump cards or something. I don't know. But the Alex Straza, I feel like Alex Straza is better than a lot of teams prioritize her at. I don't.
That's right.
I think the reason they don't like her is because she's so weak to poke. If she has half health, she's not a very good healer, you know.
And so far, there's none of that. So
Yeah, there is none. Yeah, I mean, there's the Malthael trail, but other than that, yeah.
I think that Alexstrasza really shine. I mean, I think she shines maybe here on this map a little more because of her ult, being able to keep people alive in area with given this objective, and score some skulls while you're at it, or the skeletons.
I think her ult's really good on this map for sure. Also, Dragon Form is what really makes you like Dragon Form on the shrine.
Absolutely.
You win that shrine basically. Like there's nothing a team can do. Like Dragon Form is her real ult. You know, it's just happens
Plus,
on the D button.
Given the 2 melee that Heroes House picked up so far, seems like a pretty good choice with her mini dust and.
Yeah, and that's kind of why I feel like people should maybe pick more Alexstrasza, especially on maps like Tomb and this, you know. But I don't know. She is if they do get poke, it's really hard for her. So, anyways, ban phase. Heroes Hearth is gonna ban out the Gul'dan. Hey, Gul'dan! And then LFM is gonna ban Malfurion. So Malfurion still being picked a lot. If you look back through these drafts and through the other teams' drafts, Malfurion is still the kind of the top support.
I think that makes sense for a lot of reasons. I mean, one reason that comes to mind specifically on maps like Infernal Shrines with these narrow, tight kind of objectives is just that route.
Yeah,
so good.
Absolutely. The route's a big thing. And it's, again, the same thing with Tracer works on heroes like Genji.
Yeah, exactly.
That mobile healing is really nice that isn't dependent on you being near your ally.
On the other hand, it's LFM that banned it, and they're the ones with the Genji.
Right,
but
but they picked Alex. So,
yeah, that's true.
Okay, so Heroes Hearth, they're going to pick up the Lucio.
Well, I guess that begs the question why you didn't pick up the Melf instead of the Alex, though, too.
I think they want Dragon Form on the shrine. I really do.
Yeah.
I would assume that's it. Like, It's
Yeah, I
just
just have to do a trade-off if you're comfortable with that.
like
Yeah.
you have a D button that basically guarantees you an objective. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's pretty good. Um, I think that's what it was. I don't know, but that would be my guess. So Heroes Hearth picks up Lucio Tychus. Lucio and Tychus. So who was available for supports on the side of
Stukov.
Stukov? Is Stukov getting the shaft
Shaft.
this week? It's like he's still really good, right? Like Lucio not seeing a lot of play, but again, this is one of his best maps, easily.
Uther.
Uther, yeah, would have been decent. Rhaegar is available.
Mm-hmm.
I would say Lucio's not a horrible pick though, and Lily, of course. Um,
Yeah, I mean, I think Sound Barrier is a pretty nice deterrent against Genji's ult. So
yeah, yeah, it is. I like the Tychus pickup a lot. Um, Tychus can stand and go toe to toe with Genji because of his defensive talents. We've talked about it a lot.
plus he's pretty good against ETC.
Yeah, he rips up ETC, who has to kind of overextend himself if he wants to be aggressive. So I like the Tychus pickup a whole lot. The Alex, unless she's in dragon form, isn't going to be like great healing against him. I mean, she's going to be normal healing against him.
Mm-hmm.
Broken Tangent, yeah, we've seen some Lili. You almost always see Lili picked in HGC with Medivh, because Medivh compensates for what she lacks, which is dependable large heals. You can basically just force of will whoever's getting burst, and then use her crazy heals per second to kind of keep everyone high on the health pools. So you'll see a lot of Medivh Lili. Yeah. So yeah, Tychus gets picked up there with the Lucio. The Lucio, not the worst pick, not the best pick. It has some pluses. I still like Stukov, but we're StarCraft guys, so.
That's right. I like the Stukov too, but I think if I had to choose, Lucio's a pretty good second choice.
Alternative,
there.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So LFM picks up the Ragnaros.
But I do think my favorite pick so far is the Tychus.
The Tychus,
period.
The Tychus looks good here. It
Yeah.
really does. LFM Esports picks up the Ragnaros and the Greymane. They say, well, if Crone's not going to play it, then we're going to play it. Ragnaros is being picked to solo lane. They need a solo laner and to... so these guys really want to win the objective. If they're willing to blow big cooldowns on it, they will win the objective. They'll Molten Core and Dragon Form.
Yeah, I would have liked maybe a Sonya.
Yeah. I would have liked against a Malthael though. That's a little rough. Ragnaros, it's not. I kind of like it the more I look at it, just because of Malthael. Ragnaros does okay against him. Does pretty good against him. Not that Sonya doesn't, but Sonya does have a vulnerability there.
It's true.
Her health pool isn't crazy, but it's higher. What other solo laners? You could have done a Leo. That would have probably been not good.
Yeah, probably. I mean, Dahaka would have been all right.
Dahaka would have been worse against Malthael than Sonya.
Maybe there aren't that many great choices here.
Yeah, you got your Rexars, you got your Alarax, you got stuff like that. I kind of
still play Rapsar?
No, they don't.
That's the thing.
I kind of think the Ragnaros was the right choice looking at this, honestly. And you get the added benefit of winning that shrine no matter what,
Well, okay, that doesn't mean you're winning the game though either.
No, but if they're clearly drafting to win the objective. So if
that's true.
That's what you're drafting for, then
yeah.
I mean, they want that objective, and
I would have liked a better answer to Tychus though.
There is not much of an answer to Tychus, no, and that's the scary part. But like,
I'm actually surprised they went more dive, given the Lucio.
Yeah, that exactly. I kind of agree with you. I think they were focusing on their own goals rather than counterpicking. Their own goals being the shrine and all that. But the Tychus, so you get the Greymane on the Tychus, the Genji on the Tychus, ETC if he gets on the Tychus. I mean, that's a lot for Tychus to deal with. I mean,
but there's a lot to get through to get to him.
There is absolutely. Now Malthael not as tanky as he was either, so that's kind of scary too. And so far all they have is Tyrael, and the sound barrier. Sound barrier.
Yeah, I think
the biggest tool here that Heroes
Sunbear's
has.
pretty good. Yeah, they rely on that a lot.
Yeah, like everything is relying on this sound barrier so far. Let's see what Heroes Earth finishes out the team with. It's a Kerrigan. So that
Queen
is
of Blades.
very, very interesting. Let's look at this. Well, she does help against the dive on Tychus. She helps. She gives another target. People
Right.
have to worry about that way. They can't just focus Tychus.
I mean, I haven't watched this game, but I think. I mean, I think she can rip Alexstrasza apart.
Both of these teams are really squishy.
Yeah.
Really squishy. Like,
Or the ride. I mean, she can deal with the ride pretty easily, I
yeah.
think.
Here's the thing. Like, what? I don't know. It's tough to say because Kerrigan's so dominant early game against a comp like this, right? Like, she's just gonna go. She's gonna go nuts on Ragnaros, on Alexstrasza, in the early game when they can't do much. But they still have those big cooldown buttons that then can kind of swing the game back to even. Dragon Form, Molten Core, things like that when the objective actually comes.
Well, yeah, so maybe about timing, though, making sure you don't get.
Yeah.
I mean, Heroes Hearts don't have to press their advantage when they have it.
Right. And from what I saw from this game, I didn't watch it today. I watched it when it was on, and from what I saw, they kind of like teased and ran around until like they knew the objective was going to be soon, and then they would swing around and do a big like level 4 Kerrigan gank, with like 3 people.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I'd like the Lucio Tyrael Kerrigan combo.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It was good. And the let me see some stats. Yeah. Statistics. So McIntyre on his Kerrigan didn't actually. So you could tell looking at these stats that she was mostly an early game hero, right? Like her stats are not good. 2 kills, 4 deaths. It didn't go quite the way they wanted to, I think. Where are... Look at these. Yeah. So the Kerrigan was basically there, only a factor in the early game. Later on, she kind of soaked damage that could have been going on other players. The Sanctification was a big deal, obviously, as it always is, in the late game. And it was actually a clutch Sanctification that actually allowed them to win this game. So Heroes Heart did win this game despite the Kerrigan kind of underperforming statistically.
Yeah, we kind of missed the Sanct when we were talking about things to keep.
Yeah, that's true.
The anti-dive, right?
Yeah.
We were discussing that.
Yeah, which is why, I mean, Sanct is a really, really good anti-dive tool. But I find it funny, I find it odd the way this draft panned out because the perfect hero for Heroes Hearth to have here would be Blaze, the first person they banned. Not instead of the Tyrael, but in addition to the Tyrael, and maybe instead of the Kerrigan,
Right.
Because then you have the Sanct and you have Mr. Anti-Dive.
Dive,
Blaze,
right.
Yeah.
And Sunbury.
And Sound Barrier. So actually, probably looking back, they were probably, if I knew they were going to draft this, we would have taken Blaze,
On the other hand, I think the point we kind of brought up a little while ago about Kerrigan being another target probably helped too to keep some of the heat off Titus. So
yeah.
you have to worry about Kerrigan. You have to deal with her. Or she's going to do something. So
yeah. But from what it looks like, Crowan had 5 kills this game and Arthlon had 6. They both had. Crowan did not die. He had 5 and 0, and top hero damage on his team. So 5 and 0 didn't die, and Arthlon 6 and 3, but 6 kills. So those last right kills, a huge deal on the isolated ETC who died 5 times. So 6 kills for Arthlon on Malthael, and ETC died 5 times. I bet 5 of them were last rights.
And another crazy thing though too is if you add up all the damage that LFM did compared to the damage Heroes Hearth did,
oh yeah,
it was multiples.
Yeah, absolutely. But look at the healing numbers on the Lucio.
Right. Yeah. And probably, I mean, really though, I think that the story just from those stats is how important the Sound Barrier and Saints were.
Yeah.
Because that damage is just.
It's through the roof. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And the healing wasn't that much. I mean,
no, it
wasn't enough to absorb that damage. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd have to watch this VOD again. Actually, I thought I remembered the game, but now I'm kind of like drawing a blank on what happened. It's an interesting draft, though. I guess looking at it, this is kind of why you want maybe teams are averse to Alex Straza because of just a single hero like Kerrigan, or defensive tools like Heroes Hearth has.
Yeah, but LFM also could have picked another off tank
Yeah,
instead of the
Rag,
red, gray main,
instead of
and
Rag.
Denji.
Yeah, I think maybe looking back at it, hindsight, Rag might not have been. You might want another warrior instead of Ragnaros, but I think they were scared too because of the Malthael.
Yeah, yeah.
Malthael Tychus, no less.
No, that's true.
Yeah,
That's true.
yeah. So that's rough.
But Titus does really well against one tank, so
Right. Yeah, that's the thing, and I think they kind of felt well. Tychus does really well against one tank. Malthael does really well against more tank. More tanks, the better.
that's
Right?
true. That's true.
So they
yeah.
kind of covered all bases there, and it kind of left LFM in an awkward position in the draft. Yeah, it's pretty cool actually. Yeah. So those were 2 games for last week's HGC. Hopefully this Heroes of the Dorm is on right now, by the way, so you guys can check that out if anyone's watching us instead of that. I don't know.
Or if you are listening to this later, go check out what happened in Heroes of the Dorm.
That's right. But next week we'll have some more HGC games. I'm thinking maybe I would like to do a Heroes of the Dorm Drafthouse for the top 8 rather than 16.
Fun.
Yeah, you can take a look at those. And yeah, we have I streamed all day today and yesterday, and I'm around, and we're gonna be going to Heroes of the Dorm and doing the live tweets and the interviews and all that fun stuff. So, really looking forward to that. And
Absolutely.
yeah, guys, this has been Nexus Drafthouse episode 57. Thank you for joining us tonight. Hope you enjoyed it, and tell a friend. Be like, hey, I noticed that you keep drafting Nazebo. Maybe you should check out this show. It's called Nexus Drafthouse.
Oh, I did want to mention the Sylvanas change. You gotta be a little happy about that.
Ding dong, baby, the witch is dead.
No, well, not quite. It was only her abilities, right?
Yeah.
Her auto attack still.
Yeah, her auto attacks. That's fine. Like,
because
her auto attack range is like, not that great. It was when she would haunting wave and press Q. She'd press Q on a minion that would then spread to 44 buildings. It's like I hate you so much. Yeah, I'm happy. I am happy about that stuff because there was no counterplay. I am vindicated. I was right all along. You know who's next on the chopping block? I guarantee it.
Who?
Chromie needs a change, man. There is no counterplay to that hero whatsoever.
You just have to find her and dive on her.
Find her and dive on her. I know where to find her. She's behind her wall.
Well, yes, that is a problem, especially on the smaller maps.
Yeah, I know where she is. She's completely safe. She doesn't mean
that you need a Tyrael and no judgment.
Yeah, I mean that is good. That is true. It is pretty good. Except for the judgment hits a time trap. Whoops.
Yeah, that's true too. Also true.
I think he's unstoppable during it, but I think time trap doesn't care about unstoppable. That's how stupid time trap is. Like really, you can cleanse someone and they'll still get time trapped. Really. I hate it.
Too bad.
Anyway, Sylvanas is hopefully people get the memo, and now that you can't just like roll your forehead on the Q button and get ignored until you win the game in quick match. Hopefully now she'll stay out of my Hero League games.
Was she in them?
Oh yeah, people in Gold League love Sylvanas.
Oh man, I'm
because
sorry.
because they played quick match and they're like, I mashed Q and then the core died. Like no one fought me, yay! So yeah, hopefully we don't see her as much.
Abathur's the real silent killer, though. So
Abathur is a big jerk.
Beast right now.
Abathur is
I think,
a beast.
in my games.
Abathur is a beast.
Wow.
I'm not gonna say he's not, because he is.
I need to learn to play him better.
But
great.
He has counterplay, right? Like
yeah,
you can see his minds if you want. Like he could take. It's just a matter of heroes like Chromie and Sylvanas. There's nothing you could do really about that stuff. So, yeah. Anyways, this has been Nexus Drafthouse episode 57. I am Sahara Drek. This is Lord of Ascension Ryan Tower, and we'll see y'all next week.
Good night, everyone.
Bye.